Welcome to Caleb Can't Read, everybody. I'm, for the 69th time in a row, still Jordan Rabel.
Here with you for the 69th time, I'm Caleb Terrence.
I love you.
Cheers, everybody.
Not bad. Good red. That's fine.
Decent red. I still think we should just end it here at 69. We're not going to get any. Is there a better spot to end? It's either this or we have to go all the way to 420.
See you there, buddy.
Do you have enough material to go off of for that?
I mean, for the amount of time that humans have been writing, yeah, we've got enough to cover.
I feel like a lot of people are going to fall off.
You know, all of these episodes, I got to tell you, have been exactly like there isn't really a pattern to them. It's just who I'm interested in at the time. But, I mean, there's still fucking F. Scott Fitzgerald, Hemingway, Hunter S. Thompson. There are tons of, like, famous people that we have not even touched yet.
All right. Well.
And, I mean, they're on a list. They're on a very concisive, color-coded list that I have there.
Does the list go to 420?
Not currently, but
then
it
this
goes
dies
to about
here.
200. So
This is the last episode, everybody.
Shut the fuck up.
See you later.
We'll see you in, like, 2 weeks, probably. Fuck you. Shut up.
See you in the next life. The next podcast, I mean.
So, as my very special segue for this, a segue which has been in the making.
Don't build it up because it's not going to be good.
It's very good.
All right, what you got?
So, buddy, can you tell me the last 3 authors that we talked about?
We did Charles Dickens. Oh, dear.
She's a poet who wore flannel. Buried in flannel. Crazy lady. Emily
Dickinson. Okay.
Before that, sci-fi writer.
We did Phil K. Dick.
That's right, brother. It has been nothing but Dick.
I'm sorry, I just wasn't listening on the second one you mentioned because it was a woman. Okay, like I don't. You can't. You gotta let me
punchline there.
You got.
God damn it! I've been building for so long. You let me edge for like 5 episodes, and now you won't let me bust.
Would you edge?
Yes.
What are you
all of this has been a punchline, brother. It has been nothing but Dick, leading up to this point. So
triple dick.
Yeah, let me tell you.
A 69 max would include 2 dicks, Jordan. So I don't understand what you're getting at here.
So I would like to just put it down on the record here that Caleb doesn't know about the secret third dick 69, which is embarrassing.
That's going to be like a whole other shape, man. I don't. That's going to be a different number.
Wow. Okay.
That'd be like 17.
So you think 17? Well, Caleb, I want you to remember that I am an expert in Hinduism. So there is no way
I don't fucking like that.
that any of what I'm about to say is incorrect, okay? Now, Hindu tradition dictates that there are 4 main goals to life, called the Purusharthas. Now, there's the Dharma.
Dude.
This is about learning.
Just apologize for mispronouncing it.
I'm going to apologize for this entire episode.
Okay.
Now, there's the Dharma, which is the need to live within the morals of laws of the universe. Basically, just don't be a bastard.
If this is fucking Gandhi, I'm out. We're not doing this.
There's also the Artha, which is the pursuit of happiness through your living conditions. This one often gets mixed with financial situations, like your quality of life being dependent on how much wealth you have. That's not strictly what Artha is, but it's the quickest way to understand it. There's also the Moksha, which is your meditation on life and death as a whole. And then finally, there's Kama, your journey in love. Now, a sutra is basically a manual.
Oh, you didn't.
As such, there's actually a sutra for each compass point of the Purusharthas. There's an Artha Sutra, a Dharma Sutra, a Moksha Sutra, but of course the most fun to leaf through, and the subject of today's episode, is the Kama Sutra.
Okay.
I did consider going on to a website to pay for a very cheap escort. Dude. And just have them as like a third, for a special occasion. But
this is a bad idea because the cheaper the escort, the less we want to bring them into your home.
I know, and I was thinking about like, hey, I could set up a space that they usually use like reserved for study purposes or meetings.
We got an escort space in the garage.
I was gonna say a library. I was gonna take her like just subvert a space in a library and just do it there. But I'm like, nah, that $50 is mine.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You want to pay me the escort to go with you to the library and do it there? Like, no. No, the podcast with my buddy. With a buddy, too. Well, that's going to be double pay.
There's no windows.
I bet that would be double pay, actually. Like, there's no way.
I don't know. I didn't go further than talking to Nicole about it, and she was like, it doesn't feel like a good idea.
Like,
well, like, yeah, I guess so.
We both would have had to go in on it, because there's no way in hell it's like, okay, she's like, okay, so I'm tolerating not one, but two men. So it's going to have to be, yeah.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I'm glad I didn't. Mm-hmm. This is fine.
We'd have to start like an interview process. You would have to fucking rent out that library room for a while.
An escort in an interview.
It's a very different assignment. Like, are you prepared for this?
What are 3 words that describe you? Let's see. Gaped.
Whoa. Jesus, Jordan. You're thinking of like a porn actress.
Right, of course, because an escort, of course, only is there to hang on to your arm throughout the night and hang out with you. And nothing sexual. We all know this. Mm. Now, the individual parts of the Kama Sutra, or principles of love, as it is called, were actually written sometime between 400 to 200 BC. You see, the Kama Sutra is actually a collection of multiple sources from this time period, and according to British researcher John Key, it was most likely finalized as the compendium we have today sometime around the year 100 to 200 AD. So at most, that's 600 years of just adding stuff in, taking shit out, putting it back. It is believed to have been compiled by one man named Vatsyayana, who, in the introduction to the Kama Sutra itself, says that he compiled these verses after much meditation and admits that the work is not strictly his own. Though what these older sources were, we have no idea, because the Kama Sutra is the only thing left to have survived the times. Now, not much is known about Vatsyayana, though he does write a little bit about himself at the end of the book, stating, quote, "This treatise was composed according to the precepts of the Holy Writ for the benefit of the world by Vatsyayana, while leading the life of a religious student at Benares, and wholly engaged in the contemplation of the deity." Besides that, no real ideas on the guy.
Okay.
But we do know him for this.
So we're not really like going over a dude on this episode. We're going over just a book.
Yeah. Treat it as you will, like Beowulf. So.
Did we do Beowulf?
Yeah.
Oh.
God, dude, do I remember this? Episode 37, I think.
Jeez,
doesn't matter.
Anyway, somewhere back in there we did Beowulf.
Someone way back in there. Way back in the back of your throat. Now let's get into the Kama Sutra itself, shall we? Here, actually, for you to leaf through. And now, I haven't done this before, but I'm handing you over the book for you to leaf through as we go through it, because it's kind of funny.
Okay, here we go.
But now,
all right, hit me. What we got?
Altogether, the book has 7 sections. The first is sort of a general list of things that one should do to find pleasure in life, listing 64 arts which people should practice to find joy, such as cooking, tattooing, magic, making the bed, making music with water, and sports.
Making music with water?
You ever make that fart sound in the tub? I have no idea what they mean by that. My best bet is like probably putting it in various sized tubes and just kind of make the sound or something, like they kind of do with the
that has to mean something completely fucking different. Can we pause and Google real quick?
I can give it a shot.
Okay, stop.
So, as far as I remember, when I was researching this, there wasn't like a separate link that went to this, but just literally searching Kama Sutra, making music with water, it did lead to a whole separate thing here called the Jal Tarang. And it is actually exactly that. You put water into these separate sized bowls, and then you use like a stick or something to like create the woo sound that they do in like, you see them do in movies. Yeah, the music that they make in like movies where there's a dude with the wine glasses and shit. That's what it is.
Sounds kind of silly, but I haven't tried it, so who knows? I mean, to be fair.
You didn't know that's where the Misfits got their start?
Okay. Any whomst. Fucking, what do you got next, bud?
It also states that although it's taboo in this time period, that it's okay to have sex with a woman who's had multiple marriages in the past. That's fine. However, quote, and here's the thing.
You just can't marry her or respect her, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
This actually, as I was going over this book is extremely contradictory. That really does lead into it having been compiled by several different sources. Now, I'm going to tell you this entire sentence, but we're going to hold off on going over each of these parts until after, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, quote, physical union with the following types of woman is forbidden. A leper, a lunatic, a woman turned out of caste, a woman who reveals secrets, a woman who publicly expresses desires for sexual intercourse, a woman who is extremely white, a woman who is extremely black, a bad-smelling woman, a woman who is near relation, a woman who is a female friend, a woman who leads the life of an ascetic or recluse, and lastly, the wife of a relation, the wife of a friend, the wife of a learned Brahmin, or the wife of a ruler. So let's go over those a little bit.
Okay.
A leper. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, if they got leprosy.
A lunatic.
All right. Are we talking like...
I feel... I knew you were going to split hairs with that
like,
one.
What's the fucking... Like, let's go over lunatic. I mean, are we just talking about somebody who's really excited, or are we talking like...
No, now let's say that she is really hot, though.
Or are we talking like downtown yeller? Like... Because, yeah, I get that. That's like, okay, no, get that woman to a hospital at once. Sir, put that penis away. What are you doing? This clearly states as one of the rules in the Kama Sutra to not be appropriate behavior.
The sex book?
Call an ambulance.
A woman turned out of caste. So basically somebody who got thrown out of the upper ranks of high society.
Okay.
I think that's kind of punk, though, so I don't know. A woman who reveals secrets. That makes sense. A woman who publicly expresses desire for sexual intercourse.
That's really funny because we're going to write an entire book about sex here and how it's awesome, but women are not allowed to talk about it.
Not in public, for God's sakes. Just keep that.
Like, whoa.
Give me dick! No. Whoa. No, I would never.
No, you can't. Okay, everybody likes it here, and it's this awesome thing we're going to write a book about, but you cannot fucking talk about it. Like,
yeah.
okay.
A woman who is extremely white and a woman who is extremely black. Gonna go past those ones.
we're not.
I think that's just
We're just going to call that problematic.
Yeah.
And we're going to move along.
A bad-smelling woman. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A woman
I feel like you didn't have to write that down.
Yeah, for real. I don't know. A woman who is near relation. Okay. Got that.
Near relation?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Don't fuck a cousin.
Oh, yeah. No, don't be doing that.
All right. I'm sorry for all of our Birmingham listeners. All right, a woman who is a female friend. I think that's a weird one.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can't be having sex with someone that you actually like talking to or respect.
I think that is kind of the point, though, back then. Was like, yeah, no, you don't date them. Dating's weird. That's gross. A woman who leads the life of a recluse. Okay.
So she's no introverts.
Just not a city kitty.
Introverts.
Introverts. Sorry.
Bunk pussy. Move along.
And lastly, the wife of a relation, the wife of a friend, the wife of a learned Brahmin, or the wife of a ruler. Okay, I feel like don't fuck somebody else's wife. I feel like that's the rule that they're trying to say. They're saying nobody who's a wife of somebody you're related to, or a friend, or a learned Brahmin, or like, holy person, or the wife of a ruler. I don't know. I feel like maybe don't fuck other people's wives.
Yeah, is
really what they should say.
Right, so what's next? Is it the rules for the men?
Well, the second no. No. No, the second section of the Kama Sutra says that a man can be divided into 3 categories based on the size of his quote-unquote...
Alpha, beta, and sigma?
The size of his lingam is what they call it.
Is that a pee-pee?
It is. The smaller men are in the hair category. Hair like rabbit hair, not, your dick is small as a hair. The medium...
I feel like that's exactly why I think it is, and I'm not going to say it.
The medium men are called bulls.
Bulls?
The large considered horses.
Okay.
Really kind of the same that we have today.
This guy looked at a lot of animal dicks.
Similarly, The women can also be categories based on the size of their quote-unquote yoni. There is, from smallest to largest, there is the deer, the mare.
It's nothing smaller than a deer pussy.
Right?
Okay, dude. Like
The deer, the mare, and probably the worst offender here, the elephant.
Oh, Jesus.
I think that we can all get behind. Let's not call it that ever.
Was the secret fourth class of man elephant?
I don't know. I mean, actually, a male elephant is called a bull, and yet bull is in the second category, the medium category. But so clearly he meant like cow bull. But still, I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, I guess this guy knows more about dicks than I do, because I figured a bull dick would have been larger than a horse's. Am I wrong?
I don't know. Horse dick is pretty intense, man.
I mean, I know we all say it like,
you know, this thing's flopping around.
Dude's hung like a horse, but like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. All right. Well, anyway, the book says that a man who is a hare must mate with a woman who is a deer, a bull, and a mare, and a horse and an elephant. You can't mix them up, it says. So,
okay,
sorry.
No size mixing.
Yes. The Kama Sutra then goes into the different types of flirtation. Kissing, touching.
Weird sexual class system.
Yeah. Well, they're all rules. That's the thing. It's not really a sex manual. We'll get into that. But there's different types of flirtation. Touching, kissing, light scratching with moves called the tiger's nail or the peacock's foot. Fucking gonna fight her for the dojo. This also has the first mention...
To the death like two cocks.
This also has the first mention of what we in the U.S. call French kissing. They go over that. It's the second section of the Kama Sutra that we all know it for, the sex positions. Unfortunately, not only is this one small sliver of the entire book, but the positions are extremely vanilla.
Oh shit, it's upside down.
That's usually not a step in people's reading, but that's step one for you. Make sure a book is not upside down.
Make sure.
But
if confused, flip book.
But the positions are actually extremely vanilla compared to what we've come up with in the last 1800 years. Quote, when the woman places one of her legs on her lover's shoulder and stretches the other out, and then places the latter on his shoulder and stretches out the other and continues to do so alternately, it is called the splitting of the bamboo. I think that means she's doing fucking bicycle kicks on this guy's chest. Although I will say that, quote, when a man enjoys many women altogether, it is called the Congress of a Herd of Cows. That's a quick fucking way to get kicked out of the orgy. Do not call it that.
Oh, yes, I'm ready for the Congress.
The herd of cows.
What? I went online and read the dress code for the club. I don't understand. Sorry.
But seriously, although the Kama Sutra is known for being a sex manual, it isn't. There are no super weird sex positions in the whole thing. The thing is, the Kama Sutra goes over everything as if it's a rule book. For instance, Chapter 7, the various modes of thrashing and the sounds appropriate to them. The inarticulate hin, the thundering sound, the cooing sound, the weeping sound, the sound fut, the sound fat, the sound soot, and the sound plat. Motherfucker, let me yell whatever I want. It's my fucking.
Yeah,
but you're only allowed to do those.
We're taking. Is it setting rules or recommendations?
No, they're rules.
It's like I thought you said it was like a manual.
It is a manual.
It's like a fuck manual.
Yeah. Well, if you go through a car manual, it's not telling you recommendations of what to do. It's telling you what to do. It goes into it goes into the sounds you should make while hitting each other as well. Blows with the fist should be given on the back of the woman while she is sitting on the lap of the man.
Holy shit, we get that kinky?
And she should give blows in return, abusing the man as if she were angry, and making the cooing and weeping sounds. I don't want her to do that.
No. This is just what you should do if you should choose to get punched in the face while you're having sex.
I don't want her to cry while she does it. Don't make weeping sounds. Don't make cooing sounds either. No.
I mean, look, if you're gonna get punched in the face,
if you're gonna punch me in the face, call me an insult or something.
No. If you're gonna punch me in the face, make it funny, especially if it's during sex.
But according to Vatsyayana, you have to be careful with how hard you hit and with what, as he mentions of a king that in the throes of lovemaking
you just said with fist.
Well, he murdered his wife with a pair of scissors. I feel like that was maybe an afterthought, like, oh, with my fist. Oh.
Do you think he cooed or weeped?
The third section of the 7 in the Kama Sutra is on acquiring a wife. Now, this is the courting section of it. You know, you've already had Congress with a cow or whatever. Now, how are you going to tie that shit down so you can split logs anytime you like? Now, Caleb, as a married man, and with the help of this book, I'm going to tell you how. First of all, make sure you get your friend to dress as an astrologer.
I'm sorry, I'm going to need you to back up real quick.
That's step one, actually.
What are we doing right now?
We're tying the knot.
Oh, okay.
Now, you get your friend, I'm available, to dress as an astrologer. And when you come across him in town by chance, you pay him for your fortune. Nothing but good things need be said, obviously. But also make sure to have him mention that a better girl is on the horizon should this one not happen to work out. That way, she'll want to keep you close by. There are other ways to impress a girl, however, like, quote, when engaged in water sports, he should dive at a distance from her and come up close to her. So, like, you submerge yourself a ways away, but then you emerge right next to her. That maybe impresses a first grader.
I feel like... regardless of how problematic any of this is aside, like if you were going to have this be truly useful, this would not be something you would want to just be like
writing
published
down
information. Oh wait,
Yeah,
the women
right.
couldn't read.
I don't know, actually.
Oh, who knows?
I know that was for sure a European thing.
Yeah, I'm just
but
assuming it's like those same rules.
the world over. Honestly, yeah. I mean, they didn't have a whole lot of rights regardless of where they were, but I don't know. Sometimes reading was a caste thing. Maybe sometimes it was a gender thing. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. But no, I do agree with you. Like, maybe don't put it down into your rule book. There's a lot of astrologers on the street today. You want to hit up this one? No, that's not Terry. I
feel like eventually somebody you're with is going to see you and be like, he did that fucking astrologer bit, that piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, that fucking asshole.
What do you mean you met him through... You're telling me that you said yes because an That is very coincidental. You know...
No, me and the 5 other women here are thinking that this might be very manipulative.
James actually did the same. That's odd. Yeah. But he should also, quote, relate to her the beautiful dream that he has had with reference to other women. Boy, that'll make her reasonable and not feel shitty. Just tell her, oh, I had this great dream. Oh, it was wonderful. So there I was, fucking my ex. And I was fucking this new girl, too, and the girl next door. Oh, it was wonderful. And that way she'll be like, oh, boy, I got to tie this down quick. Otherwise, you know, who knows where you may run to.
Solid advice, everybody.
But before you do any of these, make sure that your girl is none of the following. One who is kept concealed. One who has an inauspicious name. One who has her nose depressed.
Fucking what? What the fuck does that... What?
Who has her nose depressed?
What does that mean?
Not a squishy nose? You know, you don't want, like, the rabbit button, I guess.
Is that what?
But you also don't want one who has her nostril turned up. One who is built like a male. One who is stooped. One who has crooked thighs. One who has a prominent forehead. One who has a bald head. One who does not like purity. One who has been polluted by another. One who is affected with the golma, a tumor. One who is disfigured in any way. One who has fully arrived at puberty. One who is a friend. And one who is a younger sister. Yes, that third from the last one also gave me a little, That's,
Okay. That's... All right, man. That sounds more than a little murky, but we're just going to move on.
Like an R. Kelly's listening to this from jail right now. Now,
see, it's fine.
Now, we've gone through some demeaning shit.
You've seen that bit, right, where he's, like, getting interviewed, and they're like, do you or do you not like teenage girls? And R. Kelly's like, okay, well, can you define teenage girls?
Well, you know what?
Just straight up. He's just
unfortunately, I'm willing to bet that he's not the only dude, because they would be like, no, 18 and 19 is technically an adult. Technically is still, man, that's still a teenager. It is weird. Still weird.
Yeah, no, it's still weird, but that would have been a better thing to say than define a teenager.
Yeah, well, I mean, fucking someone has done.
And the guy was like a girl who is in her teens. Yeah. And he was like,
I mean, we have had a president say define is, you know. So.
Yeah, that's not the president, though.
R. Kelly 2024.
Fuck.
Now, we've gone through some demeaning shit already for women, but the fourth section of the book is a wife's duty to her husband, and we can kind of trot by this one because it stops being ridiculous and fun and just straight up misogyny. Like, I know it was before, but when I was reading this, I was like, oh, there's a lot of dudes who actually adhere to these rule sets for a woman.
Surely not.
So I'm going to ride past that one because that's not funny. It is still there's not a current problem where dudes are like, yeah, man, I don't want a woman with crooked thighs, you know, or some shit. But like, there is an issue with dudes giving a rule set, like a fucking sticker star chart for their fucking wife on the fucking board at home, you know, like, oh, you washed the dishes, that's another star there, Stacy, good job. Hey, you've almost earned yourself some freedom. You can see the sun for 30 seconds, but it's right back inside after that. All right,
maybe I just haven't seen it because I've been in Portland, but good fucking luck out here with that shit.
The dating scene's not that bad here.
No, of course not. Don't pull that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking God. The fifth part, though, is how a man must conduct himself with another man's wife. Basically, no wife stealing unless fucking her just so happens to cure you of an illness. They don't go into how that may be the case. Just know that it's okay to cheat if your life is in danger.
So, I think you're my only married friend. If I become deathly ill, would you be?
I will fucking throw my shit back so goddamn hard it sucks the soul out of you. Well, he was actually like, he just had a...
That's way better than what I had in mind. Let's go.
He had a cold. Well, I fucking killed him.
Just arms all twisted, completely raisined.
Smile on that face. Goddamn. And if all you have are single friends, here's a list of women who are easy to take advantage of. Women who stand at the doors of their houses.
Well, I mean...
You know, don't you usually somersault through them?
Like they're smoking? Like,
I guess. I think it's one of those things where it's like, you see it in like, you know, old Italian stereotype kind of thing where like there's women in the fucking windows and shit because they don't have TV and they're just like, hey, gabagool, as people walk down the street and shit. I think that's what they mean. Just people that just kind of
people that say
hang
gabagool.
Around. Yeah, don't fuck anyone that says gabagool. You know?
Don't. Okay.
Yeah. So carrying on from that, a woman who has not had any children, the wife of a jeweler.
Wait,
these are women who are easy to take advantage of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the wife of a jeweler for some reason, a lazy woman.
This guy,
again, he compiled these works.
This guy's a jeweler and his wife cheated on him. What the fuck?
A lazy woman, a cowardly woman, a dwarfish woman.
But his friend was very sick.
A woman who hates her husband.
Wait, a dwarf woman?
Yeah, a dwarfish woman. Yeah, easy to take advantage of.
Look, dude, all I fucking know after we're going through this list is the next time I call out sick and my boss asks if there's anything you can do to get me to come in, I'm going to ask if he's read the Kama Sutra.
Why? To fuck his wife? Like what? A woman who hates her husband or who is hated by him, but also a woman who is apparently very affectionate with her husband as well. So I guess just anyone. I think the whole point is any woman that's kind of easy to take advantage of, maybe. So not sure what to believe there.
I don't understand. I don't get this. Like, wait, is this like a fun, thing to do with people that we're writing a manual on, or is this something we have to trick women into doing? I don't get.
If you're sick and you can't fuck a friend's wife, these are women who are easy to take advantage of.
No, I understand.
So
okay.
It kind of seems like anyone. Really, I don't know. He does. By the way, he doesn't talk at all about men who suck, just the women. Only lists men that are awesome, like ones with bull cock, I guess. The sixth section of the book is actually kind of an anthropological study on courtesans, prostitutes. This section is a lot like the others, the do's and don'ts of paying a woman for company. And much of it is the same. You should take her out for dinner and a show, usually a cockfight. You need to be respectful.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, take her out for some animal cruelty. That's cool. Oh, the only thing is that there's also a small section in this part saying that you can basically pay a courtesan to be an at-home nurse if she's down for it, either to take care of you or like your mom or something. And only after living together for a while and you guys get to know each other can you seriously date, all right? Just pay for sex like the rest of us until she tells you her real name, and then you can date, like it's an anime. Well, the last section of the Kama Sutra is, believe it or not, on spells. Some of them are pretty simple by today's standards. Brush your teeth and wear deodorant.
The spells. Can you teach me these secrets?
So this is why you call me a magician. But some of them go a little deeper than that. Like, quote, by eating powdered wild lotus and Masua ferrea with ghee and honey, a man becomes lovely. Or the eye of a peacock set in gold and tied on the right hand or arm makes a man lovely in the eyes of others. There are also recipes to make your cock hard, like drinking a mixture of milk and onion powder, or instructions on how to pierce your dick.
Something for everybody.
And that's pretty much the entirety of the Kama Sutra. Again, it's not a sex manual. It's a love manual. All right?
It's fucking weird, man.
It is.
Like, I'm sorry. It's fucking weird.
I know. I'm kind of glad this one fell out of favor to be more of a cult classic than anything, you know? Now, we don't know for sure the early influence the Kama Sutra had, but we do know that just as it had come from many sources, the Kama Sutra itself became a resource to other Indian sex manuals as well. The Ratirahasya, or Secrets of Love, was written by a man named Koka Pundit sometime in the 11th or 12th century for a king. Now, this manual is more medieval in nature, and the sex positions are more geared toward making a woman happy. So it's no wonder that one is one that no one's ever heard before. That one just, what? In the mid to late 1400s, there was the Ananga Ranga, written by the poet Lad Khan, with a focus on how to keep a man and woman happy in their marriage, again with the lessons derived from the Kama Sutra.
That was way less problematic, right?
I mean, keeping a man and woman happy is certainly better than just keeping a woman happy, let me tell you. Mm-hmm. And around that same time, there was The Perfumed Garden by Nefzawi, which was meant to be more of an educational piece, but also goes into the sex lives of animals and warns against the devil as if he were an STD. The Kama Sutra had enough influence that it was well known during the colonial period of Europe, about the 16s to 1800s, and was subsequently banned from most countries for its subject matter. But, as we all know, this only makes something more desirable. The Kama Sutra became highly pirated, though it wouldn't be translated into English until the late 1800s. No, most of the time it was just being pushed as an Indian sex manual, and people were just getting it to look at the illustrations. Because people are...
Oh my god.
What?
Wow, that was... The Kama Sutra is that time period's like, you know, no, Mom, it's just a comedy. Can you please rent this from Blockbuster tonight?
Yeah, your mom saw Crash in theaters. She knows why you're watching it. Because people are a lot more likely to want something if they think it's porn. You know, that's pretty much what got it circulated so much. And although if it had been translated, I'm sure it wouldn't have just been the sex positions that got the book banned. There are sections that teach you how to cheat on your wife, and a few sutras that teach a man how to suck a mean cock.
Well, we're not going to go over how to cheat on your wife?
Or to suck a mean cock. I mean, I guess you know that one already.
Why the fuck wouldn't we be going over both of those? Those sound fucking hilarious.
And also teach a woman how to eat out her bestie as well. You know, honestly, like I said, though, it's tame. It's super tame.
You didn't want to go over gay cunnilingus?
It's because it's not funny.
Or cheating on your wife?
They don't do it in a funny, poetic way or anything like that. They're literally just
really, because the rest of this shit is fucking hilarious. What the fuck was it mixed with onion?
It's milk and powdered onion.
Milk and powdered onion gets your cock hard?
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it here. But you know what they tell you
about
Dwarf
women are good to take advantage of? And you're telling me that when they talk about sucking dick, it's going to be fucking dull? No,
because they tell you just, like, open your mouth, don't use teeth. Like, you know, it's very standard.
If only it were that simple.
When they say suck, do not try to slurp it down to your stomach. When they say blow, do not try to blow air down his urethra. Both of these hurt.
Just saying, there's probably some fucking gold in there. Especially
They're really...
especially the presumed male writer explaining how two women should go down on each other. That would have been fucking gold, and you missed out.
All right, well, you want me to look at it?
Actually, yeah.
All right, so from what I looked up on, at the very least, out of those three things, the cheating on her wife bit, Vatsyayana mentions different types of urban girls, such as unmarried virgins, those married and abandoned by husbands, widows seeking remarriage, and courtesans, then discussing the Kama sexual education, rights, and mores. He says it's okay to cheat with these girls who are abandoned.
Who have been divorced?
Yeah, divorced.
There's not like a whole guide to it?
Huh? No.
You mean this book isn't going to teach me how to sleep with divorced women?
Well, if you fucking clicked on the link that I keep sending you, then...
That was you?
I keep telling you that there are sexy singles in your area, and you don't seem to care. I keep telling you divorced cougars want you.
Did we get anything about the man-written, woman-on-woman cunnilingus?
I'll tell you, the index in this book is all in the Hindu.
Well, if it pertains to
It's all
two
in Hindi,
women,
so
if we're following a theme, it's going to be very fine print at the back.
Okay, if you think so.
All that print is too fine for me. What else you got for me, Jordan?
Now, the book would be translated here and there over the course of the next couple hundred years, but these translations were shitty at best. From what I could find, the earliest versions were in Turkish and French, but I don't think bootleggers were necessarily hiring the best translators. But in 1883, a British explorer named Sir Richard Francis Burton published the Kama Sutra with an English translation for the first time, quite illegally. You see, Burton was well aware of the Obscene Publications Act of 1857. He just didn't care. He was one of the first Asian anthropologists of the Western world.
Wait, what was the Obscene Publications Act?
Basically, you can't have it. You can't have anything that's going to talk about sexuality, nudity, that kind of shit. So to have a literal book that is just that, it was a big no-no for them. But Burton noticed that no matter how extensive the research from anthropologists seemed to be, whenever scientific papers were published, no one was brave enough to talk about how people were fucking. So he decided to be that man. And boy, did he get his research done. He made measurements of the average schlong length everywhere he went. And as for the sex practices, got firsthand experience in them.
Is that where we get our dick average lengths from today, or
Like the bullshit ones that everyone talks about?
Or were there other studies?
There were more studies done after this one dude in the 1800s.
Have we ever actually discussed dick measuring practices here on the Caleb Can't Read podcast?
Well, I'm very confused about what it is that you're talking about, actually.
No, I just don't want to go over this again, but I found out a while ago, like, since we're on the topic of, like, dick length averages. So, like, if you Google it real quick, like, to question, like, the 5-inch average is a little, a little, like, get the fuck. Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe there may have been a few, like, are we just going on people's word here? Like, how are we measuring this?
Right, yeah.
Like, sure, maybe
Which is
they're
also
just like
skewed, because if somebody puts up a sign that says dick measuring for scientific study, who do you think is showing up except dudes who are very proud of knowing what they have? You know
what I mean? And stuff like that. And then, like, yeah, what are they surprising them with it?
Right.
Like, do you think, like, micro dick people are, like, going in there? Like,
no, man, it's a door-to-door survey. That's
like, it's kind of strange.
Are you saying that you're not filling this portion out on your taxes?
So, apparently, those numbers were gained when they measured. They were bringing people in, and then they weren't making them get hard. They were pulling their flaccid dicks out, and then measuring the length, pulling on it flaccid.
Oh, whoa! I gotta take a break real quick. This changes everything. Holy shit.
Dude, yeah, that's how the dicks were measured for that study, which seems a bit silly.
Well,
thanks for the heroes holding down on the fucking lower end of the bell curve there for the 5-inch average, which I do not think.
Also, thank you for the dudes who are literally holding on to the bell end to measure. But I mean,
so they just were stretching dicks and putting rulers on them.
So here's the thing, though. So this guy, I'll go into this a little bit later, but Sir Richard Francis Burton, he was like the first white guy that any of these dudes were seeing. He was traveling into Asia, just like, show me your dick and let me fuck you, like, so I don't know what his practices were, and he had everything extensively written down as to how he was doing shit, and we'll get into it a little bit here, but a lot of his papers did end up getting burned before they could technically be published.
It's like dick measuring pioneer.
Yeah, but he did the measurements. He'd hop an island over and then fucking measure there. Like he was doing everything because it was literally just an unplowed ground.
That makes sense because you're gonna have to cover like every variable here to see what could affect dick size.
Yeah, exactly.
Based on location.
There's so Europe much is there. Getting lead poisoning. They're not at that time. It's like so what what could it be? But
are carcinogens and increasing or decreasing dick size?
Exactly.
Like. There's a lot to study here.
But yeah, no, he was also finding out.
I was born in the wrong time, really.
I was born in the wrong. Oh, great. Are you one of those 1960s guys? No, 1850s.
1850s, back in the old dick measuring pioneer days.
This dude was tugging on cock and
it was
getting
a new
Wikipedia page out of it. Man, that could have been me. But he was also learning how missionary is not the fucking position for everyone, He was learning how everyone was getting their fucking done, and he was even getting into it himself. I mean, he never admitted to getting gay with anyone, but he seemed like a pretty free-balling guy, so honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised.
I mean, he was measuring dicks, so.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not too surprised here. Now, funnily enough, as much as the politicians in high society wanted the public to hate the guy, they didn't really seem to care that Burton was mentioning sex in his writings, Like, fuck it. At least he was being scientific about it. So instead, Burton's enemies came up with a new idea. They figured, if the commoners don't care about the sex stuff, maybe they'll care about murder. So this led to a rumor that Burton was once pissing in the street of some Arab country and a young boy saw him pee, so he killed the kid. Like, that was literally spread by high society politicians that this dude just murdered a boy. And that rumor was popular. So much so that a fucking priest...
Didn't you kill that kid which saw your pee-pee?
Well, yeah, no, a priest asked him exactly that, and Burton was like, yep, committed every sin. And a doctor asked him if he'd done it, and he said, yeah, man, felt great, haven't you? But it clearly bothered him, and no, he didn't not really kill a fucking kid, So anyway...
Wait, what? He didn't
really kill a child.
Oh, okay.
I mean, give me a break. Like the dude who's out there tugging on cock and the kid sees him pee drunkenly on the street. No. So anyway.
Hold on.
What?
Was this man only measuring adult dicks?
I don't know. We're going to move past it.
No.
Wait a second. No. You're coming up with conspiracy theories that prove the point, and that's not okay.
No. I'm not proving. I'm not saying murder here. I'm just saying, was he studying all dicks?
Adult.
Okay.
It has to be adult. I don't know. I don't know. Stop doing that. That doesn't prove your point more if you just go, oh.
I'm just fucking saying, did you look up and make sure that he was only looking at adult dick?
The amount of times
did this guy travel
measuring...
Did this guy travel the world fucking under the guise of scientific research, looking at everyone's dicks and then just dig through the adult dicks to get to the kid ones because he fucking was into kid dicks?
Again, I'm going to say no, because that is a very unfounded accusation.
It's not unfounded. With the information you're giving me here right now, you didn't say there was an age limit on the fucking dick measuring, dude.
No, but I also didn't say that. There was a lot of things I didn't say because it didn't pertain to...
Also, we think of it here now as okay, it's going to be 18 and up dick. Back then, what was the fucking line?
I don't... Okay.
This guy just traveled the fucking world looking at boy dicks, dude.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he... Oh,
okay,
really?
Maybe he was. You know what?
You think he just ran through towns and he was like, wait, everybody line up that's 18 just because I got a feeling about that number. No, dude.
Okay, no. Here's the thing.
Possibly diddler.
Okay, yes. Okay, I will give you that much. The dude
100% diddler by fucking modern standards.
Yeah, okay. Which is where I'm going with it. The dude was a British high society anthropologist.
Okay. Came from money too. Yeah, no, he wouldn't be a fucking pedo. That makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. No, he probably did diddle. Of course he did. Yeah. But as far as his research went, no, I'm pretty sure he got volunteers for it. I can't say for sure, but he is outnumbered in every scenario.
What was the age of consent for volunteering back then, Jordan?
Man,
in all these fucking countries?
Fuck you. This is my podcast. You're fired.
Weird that you put my name in it, though.
I'm Caleb now.
All right, that's
and
fine.
I can read fine. Fuck you.
All right.
Anyway, so Burton had a friend named Forster Fitzgerald Arbuthnot. And they knew that there were certain books that would never be translated and printed due to their sexual content, regardless of their place in history. Together, these two guys created the Kama Shastra Society, of which they were the only members, but they didn't let that information get out. They did this to make it seem like it was a bigger organization that would be harder to pinpoint and find, rather than just two dweebs who were just like right over there, you know?
Two dick measuring dweebs.
Just two fine men who love consent and
up
age.
to modern standards. By the way, just had a feeling they were the ones who set that. What were their names again?
Forster and Burton.
Forster and Burton, yes, the founders of the 18-year-old consent law.
The founders of the 18 and over club. Yep.
Yep.
No, Burton gets the credit for
I'm
translating.
really glad you check your sources well, man, because you didn't want me just running around with this information here.
Look, I present this information that I have studied just fine, but you ask
have
questions
missed
outside of
so many questions that needed more pondering.
I can't guess what weird-ass questions you're going to have in the middle of things.
They don't pop into your head like, hey, did he fucking look at boy dicks?
No, usually when I read
That's
about
an important fucking variable, man.
Usually when I read about something, I'm not like, I wonder if he fucked kids.
Hey, now that we're on fucking 69, let's fucking backpedal all the way back to fucking 1. You know what 1 was? Fucking Casanova. Remember that shit?
Yeah, but we have
Remember
all
it
of
was
his crimes.
Oh, it was a
already
rich guy traveling a fucking round, being extremely fucking problematic. So forgive me if, I'm a little bit fucking trigger happy here to assume that a rich white dude.
So why are you happy about it?
Going on his adventure, I said trigger happy.
Are you happy
it's different expression. I put the other word in front of it. Shut the
now
fuck
you
up.
want it.
This guy diddles. You could have looked up.
Fucking made me lose my place. All right, so now Burton gets the credit for translating the Kama Sutra from its original text, but that was probably Forster, mostly because he would have had to translate it from Sanskrit, which of the 27 languages Burton apparently knew, Sanskrit wasn't one of them. However, it was still his name that got popularized, which I think would be funny. There are something like, I don't know, at least 400 languages and dialects out there. Oh, I know 27 languages. Oh, that's crazy. You know Spanish? No, that's not one of them. You know Sanskrit? No, that's not one of them. French? No. It's kind of like I'm actually bilingual. Did you know that? Guess the language.
Do you have like a bit?
No, guess the language.
Is there something wider than English?
No, that's not it. Keep going.
You don't speak Tagalog.
No, that's not it. Keep going. That's my point. And Burton's translations, though, made him bank. Not just for the Kama Sutra, but also for 1001 Arabian Nights, one of the most important stories to ever exist. Remember, anything that had sex in it was an untapped market, and Burton and Forster laid claim to all of that. After his death, Burton was hoping to have his wife print the rest of his studies and translations so that she could make more money for herself, but she was clearly ashamed by his career and ended up torching everything. Maybe that's what happened to him, like King Jellybean in the fucking first season of Rick and Morty. Hey, don't give me that face. You're the one who's been insinuating this entire time.
He was going around measuring dicks. Like, what the fuck? Like, she was like, "Oh, oh yeah, no, don't worry, honey. I'll fucking take good care of you."
I just don't like how you insinuate that a fine career like dick measuring is just an unabashed, no.
Diddler cover up?
Yeah, no, of course not. It's a fantastic career to have.
That motherfucker probably carried a tent with him. It was a diddle circus, dude.
Diddle Circus, first album.
Excuse me. I'm not going to be off this for quite some time, so forgive me as we move through the rest of the material here. Do we actually have the data that was collected?
Oh, about the dicks?
Yes.
I'm sure it's online. You want me to give it a shot?
I would really appreciate that, actually.
Let me see. All right, so after several websites and pictures of Richard Burton, which, as Caleb says, he has turned around, and the man is for sure 100% not a diddler. He has the mustache. He has a mustache of a man who is respectful.
Is he wearing the pants of somebody who's asking for consent?
No.
No.
He is a
anyway.
He is a looker. Let me tell you.
What do we got?
Well, Sir Richard Burton estimated lengths of 3 inches, 4.5 inches, and 6 inches in regards to the hair, the bowl, and in terms of the Kama Sutra.
Mm-hmm.
This is what he did. So the hair is at 3 inches, 4.5 inches for the bowl, and then what was the last one? The horse is at 6 inches. The latter of which was of, quote, of African or not saying that word dimensions. So,
all right.
I don't think he talked about whether or not he tugged on it, but...
So to my point, okay, so just bear with me on this one and answer a few questions. So our average is 5.
Okay.
Right? And our average is 5, and we can assume that everyone involved in that was, as far as we deem it now, an adult man.
Yeah.
When we were measuring this. And do you see how those numbers went down?
Yeah.
Right? You didn't give me the information from this man's research as to, like, his method of, like, how he would prepare the penis to measure.
It was however it fit best in his mouth.
Okay. So if we're going to keep going with this, we kind of have to drop that.
Yeah.
Right? So if we're saying, what was it, 3.5 is small.
Yeah, 3 and then 4.5 and 6, I think.
And then 4.5 is,
medium.
Fucking medium. And then 6 inch being large,
mm-hmm.
being only an inch over the 5 inch average we have now. What do you think could have been thrown in? What variable do you think could have been thrown in to fucking switch that up that much?
I think they just wasn't tugging on him.
I think it was kid dick that brought the number down.
Okay. And you are free to think that.
Mm-hmm. This man touched kid dick.
So, from what I was looking at on the internet, it seems very rare to find any of his writings online, but you can buy his books, and I'm not doing that. Just like when we covered the fucking neo-Nazi, I'm not having that shit in my library. But, so as I was saying before, so it's Burton's translation of the Kama Sutra that's most common here in the Western world. It's the version that I have, but it's also not totally correct. Burton made some changes to the Kama Sutra to make it less scandalous to Western readers. He removed all instances of a woman's independence, for example, something that may anger readers in the West, he figured. It wasn't until about 80 years later, in 1961, that the obscenity laws were lifted on the book in both the US and the UK.
So wait,
he got rid of anything that talked about like what a woman could do to, be independent.
Okay, so us dogging on the absence of that earlier is this man's fault.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And you know what though? Although it's largely the translation that we have from that guy is like the definitive English translation that we have here in the West. Mm-hmm. It's also what popularized it the world over, and it's the version that they have everywhere throughout the world.
Do you think it's a little weird that he left in the bit about sucking a dick when you're a dude?
All right, man, I get it. All right. It's also, it wasn't until about 80 years later, in 1961, that the obscenity laws were lifted on the book in both the US and the UK, mainly due to a new translation that didn't paint it as pornography, but as a cultural and religious text, which it is. But it wasn't until the 1990s that the Kama Sutra became more widely known. There was a newer translation of it made in 1980, and the small chapter on sex positions began circulating in the early days of the internet. The book's introduction to our lexicon even made its way to Hollywood, where there was a 1996 erotic movie, Kama Sutra, ironically banned in India, and even a 2012 movie made in India called Kama Sutra: The Revenge.
Is it the original Kama Sutra unedited? I really hope it is.
I'll fucking show you my independence. And although the book is not largely read by anyone today,
It was 2 sentences. Shut up.
it still has the rumor, at least in the West, of being this absolute encyclopedia of sex positions. But unfortunately, it's not. The book even says, quote, "This work is not to be used merely as an instrument for satisfying our desires." Well, good luck with that. My sources today: The Art of the Kama Sutra by Vatsyayana, translated by Sir Richard Burton and F.F. Arbuthnot, Watkins Publishing, 2011, in Wikipedia.
Dude. We should have just gone over this Burton guy the whole fucking time.
I don't want to read his works.
Well, no, they're all did you want to read the Nazi guy's books?
I didn't read those either.
I know, but I'm fucking saying, like, it's just like, what else did that guy do? I feel like we kind of missed the mark on this. I understand the excitement for it being episode 69 and doing the Kama Sutra, but I feel like the story, you know,
like, it is what it is.
We kind of did it in a weird reverse order here from usual. I feel like this would have been like one section of fucked up shit this writer did.
Hey, we did it.
Hey, no, get the...
It's 69. I got to do it. It's a celebration.
No, I want follow up on this man.
Maybe someday.
I wouldn't. Why not?
I don't know. Because I don't want to read his work. It's like I explained in the earlier.
No, fuck you. This is not the last 69 episode. We will see you guys in a couple of weeks. What?
All right. Now, I will say, this is technically the last of this season, but rather than doing a month break, this is all loosey-goosey anyway. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
So we'll see you all again for season 5.
We will see you for the next
6?
season.
See you for the next season whenever we feel
one.
like doing the next episode.
Thanks for sticking around with us.
Sticking it.